Hello and welcome back to Look Inside My Garden. I thought that now would be the perfect opportunity to have a December tour around the garden and to show you where all the different zones are in this extremely confusing garden. There's a lot of talk on Instagram and I get a lot of messages about, well, where's that and where's that? It is really confusing. So yeah, the best way to show you is to do a little walk around. So it's completely as it is now, which is, it's all right, but there's stuff lying around and bits of it are a little bit of a mess. But that is the reality behind this garden. So let's take a look. So we will start at the beginning, and that is in this dark, gloomy porch. You just put the code in, open the door. Here we go. Just close the door behind me. So you cannot see our house from the road or the garden. So we've got fencing that goes all the way around our boundary, around the whole house. This is all because the previous people that lived here were nudists. Bizarrely, they changed the layout of the house, they flipped the address, so technically this is the back of the house, but our driveway is behind me. So when you arrive at my house, this is what you see. So when the Tesco's food man is delivering our food, this is where he brings our trolley to our front door. So it is very, very unusual. So let's go over this way first. So I've got these two wisteria trees which create this incredible canopy. There's actually a third tree over there. That's the door I just came through. It's 3 different types of wisteria and it is incredible. I guess they're about 25 years old. I get lots of questions about that, how established they are. Then we've got this little woodland area down here, which Ben had the idea for this, and we added that in about March time. It was always a bit of a problem area because the wisteria grows so big and it shades the grass, so the grass never grew. So we wood chipped it in March. I mean, a lot of the wood chip has decomposed now, but I've got bleeding hearts and foxgloves, primula. And then these ferns are quite happy in the shaded bit. And then I've recently added some tulips in there. And then this below this window has been a bit of a bane of my life, but I finally got somewhere with it this summer. So I've got a mixture of white hydrangeas. I can't remember what variety that is, but the bigger ones are Annabelle. So I've got 4 hydrangeas, lovely purple veronica, foxgloves, alliums. So it's all really pink and white. It does get the morning sun, so the sun rises over there, so it's east facing. But then sort of bits of it are quite shaded, so it doesn't look much now. And then this bit of the border was really, really new, which is why there's not a lot there. There was some big trees and a buddleia, something else we took out. But being so close to the house, it's quite sheltered and quite dry. So it's been a bit of trial and error. I've added a rose, I've added another clematis. So my goal over the next couple of years is to add structure to this bit of the garden. And likewise, really, up to about there where the hibiscus is. This is my problem area. I'm trying to add more perennials and more structure. Then the pond we added in March. I really love the pond area and I'm really, really pleased with all the planting. It's beautiful and there's nothing really that I would change about that, so I'm really pleased with that. This is a wildlife pond. It doesn't have a filter, doesn't have a pump. Looks like I need to fish out some more leaves. I've got lots of oxygenating plants in there which help to keep the water really clear. And we've had frogs and newts, and we absolutely love it. And I've got Fatsia in there for colour all year round. Then a dwarf lilac tree, which is beautiful. A lily, some grasses. I kind of just plant what I had here. And then I've got this gorgeous blossom tree, which has got really tall. The variety is called Beni Chidora, and it flowers January and February. It's got fuchsia pink blossom. It's very beautiful. Got that for £10 in a garden centre bargain bin. Then I've got this gorgeous standard rhododendron, standard being the shape, so it won't really get much taller than that. And it has stunning pink flowers on it. And it actually didn't flower. I only got one flower this year because we moved it. We moved it from over there when we added the pond, and we moved it at a crucial time. So we sacrificed flowers. But I can't wait for that to flower again. And then another Fatsia here. Again, all year round it will be glossy and green like this. And it's flowered for the first time this year, which is really exciting. Then this little bit sort of comes to life a bit in the spring. I've got an Acer there, but it's not overly happy. And then this is the view of the wisteria from this side. And then 2 years ago, Ben extended the pergola over here, and we actually untangled a lot of the wisteria and managed to train it across. And then Ben has just managed to get some trellis to go along the back, and we've got enough to train it along the back as well. Yeah, that's not a pretty view, but that's the neighbours' conifers. We kind of just deal with it as best we can. Then this is the corner of doom. I think everybody has a corner like this. It used to have our hot tub in, so it kind of was purpose built for the hot tub. Oh, that's all the trellis that Ben got for free. But given the cost of electric, we are not using the hot tub, so it's kind of just become a complete dumping ground. And actually I'm going to do a bit of clearing in here today, because otherwise it's just going to stay like this. And I've got some perennials in pots there that are kind of in a sheltered spot. Yeah, I'm going to move them to the greenhouse today actually. So yeah, not a lot. There's tulips planted here, alliums planted. These are lovely clematis. So that's kind of this area. So I call this area the cottage border. Then we call this the courtyard. Yeah, it's just stunning when this wakes up in the spring. Then under here doesn't really get any light at all. But I grow these lovely elephant ears, and I started with a couple of plants and I just keep propagating, so it's kind of getting greener as the time goes on, but it does drive Ben insane because of how bad it looks. But I think we just need to chuck a load more mulch on it in the spring. Maybe think of something we can do, I don't really know. But that bit looks okay. And then I've got my Christmas tree and my amazing red rose that I adore, that the boys bought me. I've tried various things to grow on this wall, but nothing really works. It doesn't get an awful lot of sun. So I'm going to rethink this space. I might plant a Fatsia or something in here more permanently. Then I've got wallflowers here. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, cottage border, courtyard, and then we go down to the next area of the garden. So that's conservatory slash kids playroom slash greenhouse, and then this pathway leads down to what we call the kids garden. So this is where the fun happens, and this has been work in progress, making it a space that we can all use. And yeah, there's pockets of stuff happening everywhere. So we added a eucalyptus tree here. We cut it actually because it had grown so big. We wanted a little bit of screening from neighbours. So hopefully that will do a job. And we are keeping it in check and regularly cutting it so that it doesn't get out of control. This really ugly screening is to save our neighbours, because we have 3 boys and a football goal there, so it just helps to keep the balls in our garden. We've got these lovely hammeln grass, which I love, just adds a bit of winter structure. These are all lovely red geums that I grew from seeds. That's going to look lovely in the spring. And then Ben's latest project is all of this, which actually we think is going to look lovely when it grows. So what we were faced with was this. Giant conifers. When we first moved in, we managed to completely strip them back and kind of make them into a standard shape, and within a couple of years they bushed back and grew, so we've now got a perfect screen from our neighbours. And then that's my dahlia border in the front, and that's clematis growing through there. However, these didn't grow back, they didn't do so well. So we ummed and ahed about what to do. Ben had always wanted bamboo. We didn't really know what to do with the trees, and then we saw a picture on Pinterest of people that had used columns, wooden columns, to kind of make a contemporary look. So Ben bought a tool to strip all the bark back. I think we're going to cut the height down to where the screen is, just to make them perhaps look a bit better. And then the bamboo we all got for free. So it's a clumping bamboo, which we have actually planted in buckets, so that it's easy to get them out, because I think when they get bigger, having two planted is going to be too much. So yeah, that was done September time, so this is really new. Then this corner is really new. We call this the breakfast garden. So the sun rises over there and the sun streams down here in the morning. So in the spring and the summer, I love to have my breakfast and morning cup of tea down here. And I think that's part of the beauty of gardens. You sort of create these pockets of garden that have a purpose, and that is the purpose of this corner. So it gets that morning sun, doesn't really get sun any other time. I planted fatsia in here because we wanted to cover the fence and create a lovely green space. And then we've gone with a wood chip base. So I've got some hellebores here to sink into the ground. And I've got a gorgeous pink hydrangea. This is just my foxglove tree that I need to put somewhere else. So yeah, this was done in August, so this is really new as well. And that's Californian lilac, which I had bought as 3 tiny 10cm plants a couple of years ago. And actually, annoyingly, I didn't remember to prune it after it had flowered, so that's why I've left it, and it looks a bit crazy, but it is swarmed with bees and purple flowers. Early summer, late spring. It's incredible. And then this is Dahlia Border of Dreams, which looks not much right now, but yeah, it is amazing and it just works perfectly for us. Then we've got kids climbing frame, trampoline sunk in the lawn, my little greenhouse, and then this is kind of a bit of a dumping ground, working progress. And then here is our lovely deck. So Ben built this deck in lockdown. All of the decking was free. We then just added that platform up there. We added that at the beginning of this year, and that cost £70, I think. So there was a flower bed under there, but all of the rest of it was free. And this decking is just used like another room of our house in the summer. That's our kitchen door there. So we just have the door open, and it's a kind of come out here barefoot. It's always clean, it's always beautiful, and I just absolutely love it. So last year was the first year that I had a container garden. Then I added more to it this year, and I've got more plans for it next year. And it's just amazing. And because it's behind where the boys play, I don't have any problems with anything being broken. We've added a container pond, and then underneath all of this wood chip is concrete. They used to have a big summer house here, so it's all proper like foundations, so there isn't any soil really. We broke up a little bit of the concrete along here and added some soil so that I could plant dahlias, but yeah, everything else is in pots, so it looks really, really bare and naked. I'm definitely adding more perennials as I go, so that I'm not relying on growing annuals for it every year. So that's going really well. Got a big pot of scabiosa here, grasses, salvia, verbena, osteospermum, more salvia. I've got agapanthus. Then I have pots of dahlias. There's some other annuals that I'm gonna add to it as well. Then we've got another eucalyptus that I think we're gonna move down there. So yeah, it doesn't look much now. And then probably the first weekend of March, we jet wash all of this decking. It kind of, you can see it looks quite green in the winter, but it jet washes beautifully. And then this is actually a cuprinol fence paint that we use, and then we do another coat on the top just so it's fresh. So that's like our March thing that we love to do, jet wash it, fresh lick of paint, job done. So this is the garden that we call the deck, and it is purely in pots. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a container garden by using a variety. You can see all the different sizes and heights of pots that I've got. A lot of them I got for free, a lot of them were really cheap, but it is incredible what you can grow in pots. And then this area here, again, has evolved with our family, and as the boys have got older as we've lived here. This summer we actually had a freestanding swimming pool, which fitted in this whole space. So the stuff that I planted in here didn't really work because the pool was there. So this year it's only going to have dahlias. Well, that's a lie. Sorry, it's going to have larkspur in the earlier part of the spring and then dahlias, so that I can easily cut the flowers like from the deck. I don't have to worry about squeezing past the pool. But the kids absolutely loved it. They don't look great, but this is a family garden and it works for us. So I hope you enjoyed that garden tour, and you understand a little bit more about the layout of this garden. We just feel really, really lucky. And I remember when we bought this house, we love a project. We've always loved having a garden, and the different zones just work for us. So there's somewhere always that you can be playing with the kids, or you can chill out. And I think that you can create zones even in smaller gardens. So our previous gardens that we've had, we've always done the zoning. So whether it was an area for my flowers or veg, I used to grow lots of veg when the boys were little, and an area that they can play. And I think if you've got somewhere for toys to live, then it doesn't always have to feel like a family garden. And then fairy lights in the evening and somewhere nice to sit, I think it can just become a space that everybody can enjoy. So yeah, this is our garden, and I cannot wait to be sharing the journey of this garden as we go into another growing year. I'm so excited for the year ahead. We've kind of got lots of plans, nothing as big as what we've done, because we started with a completely blank canvas. Other than this wisteria, I mean, it was Ben really, built the pergola for here. But yeah, we had a completely blank canvas and a very, very tight budget. So it's taken time, and it will continue to take time. And although I would love to have the budget to just buy £1,000 worth of plants to shove in the garden, the other thing about gardening, which is so important to me, is the growing and the nurturing and the experimenting. And I love that so much that I'm just ready to have a garden filled with stuff that I've grown. And I'm still learning what I like and what looks nice. So it's exciting, and I'm so excited that you are going to be following along. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I cannot wait to be sharing more with you. My plan at the moment is that my longer garden vlog will go live on a Monday morning. Just gives me a bit more time over the weekend to get it ready, and then I will do lots of shorts sort of through the week with little snippets of what goes on. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram for daily gardening. Thanks so much.